My friend, I was certain you'd arrive, and it's a good thing you did. All is not well. The city is closed against me. The ancient wards and guardians all see me as hostile. I could force my way inside, but that might hurt the people of Silvenar. This is supposed to be a celebration, not a war. I'll need your help once again. The city is sealed against me, something I would not have thought possible. It would take the power of course, the three spinners. They could do it if they were forced by... Yes, that Hircine worshipper wants to keep me from the handfast. My scouts saw his houndsmen in the ravine below. I believe those silver shards are physical manifestations of stories woven by the... We've run afoul of him before. The hound was behind the trunk. I don't know, but she must be inside the city. If she were anywhere else, I'd be able to sense her presence. My fear is that the hound has... As I said, they are creations of Silvenar's three great spinners. I'm certain the houndsmen are using them to turn the wards of the city to their master's evil purpose, to help him keep me from the Green Lady.
Quiet. The houndsmen are in the ravine below. I'm here to make certain. Desperate. We definitely need your help. The Silvenar told us there's some sort of mystic barrier keeping... That's good. If you want the silver shards, you should go through the chasm between here and the city to collect them. Come back up this way when you have enough. I'll check with the... Continue down the slope. The houndsmen patrol the ravine, carrying those shards and looking for loyalists. I don't know much that you haven't been told. My guess is the houndsmen carry them to somehow reinforce the mystic barrier. Please, I need you. Come here, quickly. You've got the silver shards? Good. Keep them close. I don't know what they're for, but they've got to be important. It's not an evil creature, but a bound spirit, tied to the wards that protect the city. Defeating it won't destroy it completely. In fact, it will probably reform soon after. But it will temporarily sever. It'll give the Silvenar an opening to project his will into the city. The Silvenar, remember, they're somewhere inside the city. The Silvenar can't sense them with the wards intact, but once the Guardians...
Quickly! You've defeated the Guardian, but it will return soon. You need to get inside the city and locate the 3 spinners. I sense they're being held in the trees within the city. The bonds of Hircine surround them, however, so you can't go directly to them. You'll need to learn about the spinners and their prisons in order to free them. All I know are their names. Spinner Enrel, Spinner Carolyn, and Spinner Dothriel. This is my first visit to the city, and until the Handfast, my connection with the Bosmer is incomplete. Question the ones who bound them. The Houndsman's witches worked with their master to craft special prisons for each spinner. Once you've learned about...
Finally! An end to this madness! Have mercy, please! I'll help you! Bless you!
Please, no more! I surrender!
Hail.
It wasn't my fault! I'm really scared.
No! It wasn't my fault! Please don't kill me. You don't understand. Yes, but we didn't hurt them. Please, I'll tell you everything I know if you... Spinner Einrel is the youngest of the three. She acted like she knew she was going to be taken. They imprisoned her. Her essence focuses on the future of the Bosmer people as she sees it. Naturally, she believes in the love between the Green Lady and the Silvenar breaking through the shadow of the Hound. The exact solution...
Trouble afoot. I'm getting out of here.
Mercy, please! Oh, you can't kill me. It was the Hound, the warriors, the Spinner...
Finally, an end to this madness.
No, it can't end like this. He promised! The Spinners defied the Hound, so he bound them with elements of their own strength. She's in her home and hardly noticed us. She lives with the Bosmer surviving and the Hound dead. She spoke as if it had already happened. She also said that each spinner has the key.
I sense that you've completed your task. You've questioned the Houndsman witches about the spinners and their bonds. When you defeated the Guardian, I projected more of my essence into the city. I've learned something about each spinner and their bonds. They're being contained by puzzles that tap into each spinner's essence. The Hound is using Ayleid stones to imprison each spinner. The key to each puzzle is tied to each spinner's essence, but their very spirits power the barrier keeping me out of the city. Solve the puzzles, free the spinners, and open the barrier. Yes, if you fail to solve a puzzle, a manifestation of that spinner's spirit will appear. Kill it and the barriers will fall. Take your time. The spinners work with the past, present, and future, and likely left clues to help solve the puzzle of their bindings. Look carefully at each stone, and read every book within their chambers. I'm sure you'll find the answers. Each has a home surrounding the Great Tree. Go up from here, then cross the tree bridges and climb up further still to their homes. Search the spinners' homes for clues to solving each puzzle. Return here after you've broken their bonds.
Freedom exists, as do I, in any state.
Ifru bless you.
Thank you. I could see no future for Silvenar as long as I was imprisoned there.
Silvenar.
You've done it! The barrier is almost broken. As you broke each of the spinner's bonds, I could feel the energy dispersing. I'm almost through. We must confront the Hound, but I have grim news. The Hound has somehow enthralled the Green Ladies. Give me the silver shards. They contain the essence of the three spinners' stories. I can use them to overcome the Hound's spell. She's a warrior, first and foremost, and will abandon her repairs to confront you. Then I'll be able to break through the barrier. Of course, if the Hound gets to her before I can. Best not to think of that. Together, the Green Lady and the Hound will be formidable. Our only hope is for me to get to the audience hall quickly and help. Take the ladder up from here. It's above us, high in the great tree. Good luck, my friend.
you threaten us.
Interfere!
I'm here, Waring. No one can stop our union now.
Green Lady, remember the Green Pact. Come to me.
No! We belong together!
Waring, are you hurt?
The shadows lifted. For the first time in many moons, my spirit is my own. I can see my destiny again. Without your help, the Silvenar might never have made it back. I hope I didn't injure you. I embody the physical strength of the Bosma, but it proved useless against Hircine's magic. The Hound was once my dearest friend, Orthorn. Despite everything, I thought I could make him change his destructive course. I was wrong. Orthorn allowed me to think I could reach him, but his words were wrapped in Hircine's magic as the Hound. They drew out my primal spirit, and I lusted for the hunt. I felt as the ancient Bosma must have felt before the pact. Retrieve the handfast. It was crafted in Belgard and sent here for the wedding ceremony. Fortunately, the spinners hid it away somewhere in the city to keep it from the Hound. And Scout Anglith, chief of the Silvenar's hunters, should know. Considering how much you've helped us already, I can't think of anyone else who deserves the honor more than you.
Wait! You can't start without this!
Take your rightful place in our celebration. By the blood we consume, by the hills and vales we protect, let the spirit of the Silvenar and the body of the Green Lady become as one. Before Ifray and those gathered, for this generation, and those who came before and go after, be joined. I've said enough. Go and be merry. Handfast ritual is but one of the many ceremonies for this wedding. Look around, my friend. Without you, this joyous celebration could not be possible. Please, enjoy the hospitality of Silvenar for as long as you like. Though I am certain your tale will draw you away from us soon. Ritual. Please, enjoy the hospitality of Silvenar for as long as you like. Though I am certain your tale will draw you away from us soon. May your story be never-ending.
My friend, Raz is happy to see you, but surprised you didn't help me with these creatures. Not that Raz needed any help. You must tell me what brought you to Somerset after you agreed to assist Raz with his usual cloak and dagger business. Ominous? No, nothing of the sort. Well, maybe a little of the sort. Depends on how things develop. This one has come to Somerset at the behest of Queen Irene to make sure her decree regarding the opening of the island proceeds as she directed. Ask some questions, determine the mood in Shimmerin, and see how the newcomers are faring. Rumors have reached the Queen, and she is concerned. So Razumdar comes to see what is happening and fight strange creatures. Now Raz is concerned as well. Shimmerin serves as the arrival point for newcomers to the island. It's the perfect place to ask a few leading questions and determine what the people think of the Queen's decree. Raz would go, but many know his face, yes? Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid this stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers. As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. Old Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranuel, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log. True, not enough syllables. Ranuel's a Redguard, whose family has lived in Shimmerin for generations. He's a well-respected trader, with a few warehouses along the docks. Talk to him, before the Divine Prosecution decides to... Shimmerin serves as the... As a matter of fact, Raz made a something to do with monks and newcomer registration. Raz is looking at nothing at all. We need to confirm these rumors or else put an end to them. Everyone should be pleased with the Queen's decree. Opening the border shows progress. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. Raz knows very little about city ordinances or how to tell the difference between mead and ale, so let's avoid those topics, yes? Otherwise, this one knows all about the Queen's decree and the initial reaction of the nobles and king lady. King Lady Avenice has made her views on the Queen's decree quite clear. She calls it unreasonable, dangerous. A few of the city's nobles have sided with the King Lady, as has the new Oldark at the monastery. My queen permits discussion, to a point. She has spoken against it. Now Raz needs to know how far she will go to defy the will of the Queen. Does she grumble? Queen Irene, her most excellent leader of the Aldmeri Dominion, has issued a decree opening the once forbidden land of Somerset to traders, visitors, and immigrants of all races. Controversial, yes, but part of her plan for the Dominion's future. For some, High Elves talk of perfection, but they are a complicated people. Various individuals in Somerset take issue with their queen, with change of any sort, actually. The King Lady, for example. Some nobles. Makes my job.
find your own patch of beach. Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? Exactly. An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Somerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every High Elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work? I believe in caution as much as the next High Elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers. And she was adept at making dyes. They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, so of course I complained to the monks. Now I have to gather my own shells. They told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time for such bureaucracy? And for a wood elf? I've said too much. I have work to do, and all this aggravation has diverted my path to Alaxon. Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I am desperate.
A newcomer? In the warehouse district? Unusual. But how can I help you today, my friend? The Divine? Who told you that? If a Justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing... No, no. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task. But I admit it. I made my thoughts known. I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing! Oh, my family has been here for generations and generations. Before the Queen's decree, outsiders might have been rare, but we were not unheard of. Our business has grown and gets better every day. That's why I sent for my cousin. We need the help. Somerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
Here! 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 Here!
This is unheard of. Why have you closed the monastery?
Good people, I hear your concerns.
But the workers I hired...
Such anger. Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to?
The old dog's right. Look up the newcomers.
Sequestered. Just a different word for imprisoned, yes. Ranul's cousin just arrived, but O'Newell's assistant has lived on Somerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Soxolza have to say? Why would the Aldar gather up newcomers and non-High Elf residents alike and send them to the monastery? Does the kin lady condone this behavior? Raz's head itches, and not in a good way. Our course is clear, Five Claw. We must go to the monastery. Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own. Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, just sleep quietly inside.
Here! 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 Here!
Archmage Silvenar.
You there! I have a... Damn it! Why won't this work?
Did you see a golden knight?
Here!
I have no idea what that was, and I'm not sure I
Sentry.
want to know.
Raz owes you for that game of cards and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any... You say I once...
No, not now, please. No, not now. You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldork brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was a hint, by the way. Again with the questions about the newcomers. Why do you care about the complexities of Altma bureaucracy? Still, if I had to make a guess, I'd say they were taking into the Undercroft for registration and processing. Now go away. The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation. The Aldork has closed us down until further notice. That means if any of the monks spot you, they'll raise the alarm. Me? I never saw you. Now, if you don't mind, my nap awaits.
You've got to the count of 3 to leave. 1...
Unusual knick-knack for an Aldork's office, wouldn't you agree? I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind. The sequestered newcomers. I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp, and it shouldn't be locked to the public either. Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios, strange creatures notwithstanding. We need to find out what's happening with the missing newcomers. The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you, so I could ask you the same question. Let's just agree that we both have our methods. Curious, but I feel that there's more going on in Shimmerine than the usual politics and community relations. That's the question, my cautious friend. We have a newly appointed Aldarch and a disgruntled kin lady, both opposed to the Queen's decree. What's their connection to the missing newcomers? I was about to explore the Undercroft. Care to join me? A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldarch acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers.
Why are you here?
Something's wrong down here. I sense magic. Vile magic. Cages? These people did nothing to deserve...
Thank the Divines! You aren't one of the monks. Please, let me out of here. It's a nightmare. We came to Somerset to seek new opportunities. We barely stepped off the ship when they marched us to the monastery. Instead of questioning us or the usual high elf bureaucracy, they locked us in these cages. The monks gathered them a few moments ago and took them through the door on the far side of the chamber. Please, let me out of here before they take me away like the others.
Is that a scoffin?
Oh, thank you for setting me free.
A Daedra. Here? And that's a scoffin, if I remember my Daedric recitations correctly. Very curious. An excellent question, and one I hope to find the answer to. From the evidence before us, it appears this Nord killed the Scoffin before he succumbed to his own wounds. Good for him. I found this key on the creature's belt, so we can open that door. Then I suggest we pick up the pace. We need to determine what's actually happening down here, and who's behind all this. Without answers to those questions, we won't be able to decide on our best course of action. I'll explain everything later. For now, we need to hurry.
More newcomers? Unfortunately, the magic only affects those who have been prepared. But never fear. Your turn will come.
Hold off these creatures. The pearl's magic attracts these creatures. Hold them off while I complete my spell. on. Let's talk outside. Those poor people. This wasn't just about newcomers and opposing the Queen's decree. That was Daedric magic back there. I just wish we had arrived a few moments earlier. I promised to explain what I know. I suppose that now's as good a time as any. I'm a member of the Sijic Order. Our Right Master sent me to investigate a warning we received about a plot involving Somerset. My inquiries led me here. The Sijic Order is an ancient magical monastic society. We served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, but that was before we removed our island home from the world. Now this threat has drawn us back. But why are you involved in all this? An Eye of the Queen? Interesting. I diffused the Daedric magic and transported the pearl to Artaeum, the Sijic island, for safekeeping and study, so we can learn more about it. But we can discuss this further once we get out of here.
I don't remember groveling that much when I was a wretch.
Stupid big ones and their stupid orders.
Living on Artaeum for a few centuries doesn't prepare you for physical activity. Let the Eye of the Queen know what we discovered, and I'll catch up with you later. We were warned that Daedric princes had their eyes on Somerset, but I didn't expect that level of danger from what was supposed to be a simple investigation. I suggest you tell the Eye of the Queen what we discovered. I'll catch up with you later. We received word that there was the potential for trouble in Somerset, so the Right Master sent me to take a look. Even so, Artaeum isn't a prison. We're Psijic mages. We can come and go as we like, just so long as it advances our studies. I did tell you, once I ascertained I could trust you and the time was right. When we make a rare visit back to Nirn, we try to keep a low profile. Rumors about our order tend to make people uncomfortable, and even nervous in our presence. A partial truth, easier to remember than an outright lie. Another member of our order came to Somerset a few months back. We haven't heard from him, so I decided to look into both matters while I was here. Unfortunately, he continues to elude me. No, not intentionally. We may be sages, but we're still just people. We can become restless, succumb to sorrow or frustration. My friend may have decided that life on Artaeum was no longer satisfying.
Ah, this one's new partner returns. What interesting scandal did you uncover in the monastery? Tell Raz every juicy detail. That isn't the kind of scandal Raz was hoping for. Murder, Daedric rituals, and traitorous behavior have a way of ruining an otherwise perfect day. We need to learn the extent of the Kin Lady's involvement, and by we, Raz means you. Accuse? Not exactly. Raz wants you to talk to her. See what she knows about the Old Dark. The Kin Lady is meeting with local leaders. Attend that meeting and learn the truth. This invitation and set of elegant clothes will get you through the door. A Psijic? Raz has heard rumors, but there are always rumors about the Psijics. For an island of sages who disappeared more than 300 years ago, they certainly seem to get around. Did this Sijic mage say what the Order was investigating? There was a life-sucking pearl. You should probably have led with that bit of information. Well, we can worry about the Sijic mage and figure out where these pearls came from later. For now, go see what the Kin Lady has to say. Kin Lady Avenice and Raz do not get along. You see, there was a horse, a platter of pudding tarts, and... No. This one won't bore you with the sordid details. Besides, everyone behaves well when they see Raz. You will learn more than I would.
Sprung up like fungus from grass. Their eyes may be sharp and lacking in pulp, but keep an eye to their blunders.
Yes? And who might you be? The Kin Lady is currently engaged. She's holding a conference with Shimmerine's elite to discuss certain political matters. Yes. So you do. And may I say that your outfit is suitably elegant. Please, head into the garden.
We all have concerns regarding the Queen's decree. I assure you that I am working with all Dark Takala to safeguard the sanctity of Shimmerine and all of Somerset. Enjoy the food and drink. Business of the city requires my attention, but I shall rejoin you shortly.
How bold of you. The Neberah dares to stand in my holy presence. Very well, bold Neberah. What can the new Alldark of Shimmerine do for you? And please, try not to bore me or spray any spittle on my spotless vestments. You heard that somewhere, did you? I'll have to have a discussion with the Divine Prosecution about how lax our security has become. No, I jest. The Kin Lady and I have nothing but the best interests of Somerset and the newcomers in mind. You really are well informed about things here in Shimmerine, aren't you? For a Neberah. You're right, where are my manners? Using a word you couldn't possibly be expected to understand. It means unwelcome. As in, you are not welcome here. That's a serious accusation to toss around so casually. What did you say your name was again? I want to make sure to add it to the Divine Prosecution's observation log. For your own protection, you understand. I suddenly remembered some business I need to deal with as well. Feel free to pester the other guests in my absence.
Barge into my home without so much as a by your leave. No, I refuse to deal with one of the Queen's guests, especially not in my own home. How did you get in here, by the way? No, never mind that. Since you found your way in, I assume you can find your way back out, before I call the guards. Such innocence. You really want to know why I oppose the Queen's order to allow newcomers to enter Somerset? Because I'm trying to protect both the island and the newcomers. It's in everyone's best interest that we maintain a separation. Aldark Tilkala came highly recommended. He has grand plans for protecting Shimmerine. Grand plans. Unfortunately, in my haste to deal with the Queen's decree, I may have made an error in judgment. Not that it's any concern of yours, but my Chancellor has been unable to verify the Aldark's existence prior to when we met, and I recommended him for the position at the monastery. I assure you, Kinlord Millenthal praised Tilkala to no end. That's preposterous. Aldark Tilkala sequesters the newcomers to ascertain their suitability for life in Somerset. Those who pass will find a place here. As for the rest, they'll be returned to wherever they came from. That's what we agreed to.
My lady, one of the monks had to deliver...
An odd location for a meeting, but I need to hear the Aldark's explanation.
You stood among the standing stones of Tanzelwell.
Pretend you are adjusting your boot or admiring the architecture. As hard as it may be, look anywhere but directly at Raz. Good, good. Now, tell Raz what you learned at the King Lady's manor. Raz thinks Avanis is as naive as she is complicit, but she's not a murderer. This new Aldark, though, has so much blood on his hands, it looks like he's wearing red gloves. From what I could discover, he didn't exist before he came to Shimmerine. The Coral Forest? A strange meeting place. Raz thinks we should go and see what the Aldark is up to. After I take back that outfit, I might need it again later. Ah, you have a pretty admirer, my friend. The Sijic sage, yes? Here she comes now.
Hey!
As surely as the river
I'm glad I
flows, you will
found
pay
you.
for your
While
crime.
watching the King Lady's mansion, I saw her ladyship sneak out the back and leave the city.
The King Lady is meeting the Oldark in the Coral Forest. Raz smells something, and it isn't moon sugar biscuits.
One of Somerset's more unique environments, the Coral Forest. I used to love coming here when I was growing up. We need to find out why the Aldark asked King Lady Avenice to meet him out here. Based on what we saw in the monastery's undercroft, I'm hesitant to use magic to locate them. I suppose we'll have to find them through mundane means. Too bad the Queen's spy isn't here yet. I understand he's good at this sort of...
You know nothing of the plan, you fool. Let me give you a taste of what the Prince of Barnes has in store for this pitiful world.
Your prince! I want no part of Daedra! Help!
Let me show you the power bestowed upon me by the Prince of Yagra. Destroy these fools!
Razumdar apprehended the Kin Lady. They're at the west edge of the Coral Forest. What happened to Aldark Tilkalar? Did he escape? I think we can conclude that Tilkalar wasn't actually an Aldark. At least, not with his connection to the Prince of Bargain's Clavicus Vial. Strange magic and creatures worry me, however. Hopefully the pearl I sent to Artaeum can tell us more. You'd be surprised what a particular object can reveal if you know how to unlock its secrets. I need to return and tell Right Master Ikesis all that transpired here. If you're willing, I'd like you to come to Artaeum and confirm my story. The Right Master leads the Sijic Order from Kapora Tower on the island of Artaeum. This spell attunes you to a portal near Shimmerine in the ruins of the Keep of 11 Forces. It always leads to Artaeum, no matter the island's current location. One more adjustment and there! You are now attuned. Find me on Artaeum after you finish with the Eye of the Queen.
Claw. Queen Irene will be disappointed that the King Lady of Shimmerine allowed a false Aldark to murder so many newcomers. Such a scandal makes other travelers uneasy about coming here, yes? The Prince of Bargains. That could only be Clavicus Vile. What oblivion-inspired nest of vipers has Raz stumbled into? This one has a very bad feeling about all of this. Where is the Sijic sage? Raz would like to ask her what she thinks. The Sijic Order's interest in all of this concerns Razumdar. This one has never had much love of magic, or those that practice the art. On the other hand, now Raz has his own person on the inside. An Eye of Raz, if you will, yes? Then you must go to Arteum and discover what the Sijics have learned. When you return, you can tell Raz all about it so he can pass it along to the Queen.